Hello and welcome back to a new and controversial video that I'm going to make here. It's about my life. It's about what happened to me the 12th of July in the evening when I suddenly got a cardio arrest, or in layman terms, I got a blood clot in the artery that feed my right side of the heart with blood, lower chamber to be exact. And within 15 days after I got my first jab, a vaccine from a company that in my country produced most of the vaccination was the majority of the vaccination program, to say it like that. Over 3.8 million in Denmark got this vaccine. First, second, third, and so on jabs. I've been following research on different platforms, read thousands and thousands of pages of research, and let me tell me my story. I was sitting and playing with a American streamer that night. I was playing a game. I was already kind of upset due to it wasn't going us so well, and we kept on getting on teams with people that wasn't the best players, to say it like that. And my frustration also come out in the way I spoke, not to her, but forward the whole team. And around 2100, I begin to get severe pains between my shoulder blades. I thought, oh well, you are stressed, you are angry, probably because of that. But the pain just kept being more intense, and to the point I got dizzy. I had problems with breathing. I couldn't focus. When I stand up, I got dizzy. And I thought, oh well, you stressed yourself so much up that, and got so much into winning that your body now reacts on this issue. And I thought, okay, I'm logging off the game. I didn't say anything because I thought, well, better just take it afterward and say it was not you, it was me, it was the team, and so on. But again, I thought it was like that. Then I thought, okay, go lay down for 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe it will slowly go away as it have done earlier in this period, because it wasn't the first time I began feeling like that. But it went into itself. It could. I thought it could be, oh well, you have played too many hours, and now your body is saying to you, you need to take a break. So I went laying on the couch for little time, and I could feel, oh well, this is not getting better. It's getting worse. I was beginning to be a little frightened about these symptoms. So I had to go to the bathroom. And I got up, I got very dizzy. I could more or less not stand on my legs. I only have around 6 meters from where I was out to the bathroom. And when I got out there, I collapsed, laying on the floor, couldn't focus, couldn't move, couldn't get up, couldn't do anything, to be honest. My body fluids, both in front and my little heart of things from my behind also came out when I was laying on the floor, totally dizzy, and I thought, okay, this is serious. Now you're going to make the call to emergency. I did, and luckily I did, because in the meantime, only around 7 minutes later, they was here. But in the meantime, I got a little bit better, so I used the time to clean off what I have got of excrement on me, pee and so on. Fast under the shower, then dressed up in some clothes and got more and more dizzy. They said I should stay in my apartment, but well, it was a bad period for me and I had much stress, so I decided I went down to the main entrance, so I was sure if something happened between the call and to the was here, they could fast get to me. Well, the ambulance came and fastly they said, okay, don't be worried. This is a blood clot. 100% it is. We can see it on the numbers. So we need to start already now on stabilize you. And they did. They called a doctor that also came, and I think it was around 40 minutes. They was parked in front of my apartment complex. Well, again, uh, it was scary for me because, oh, you're 40 years old. Uh, you just had a within the last month had a health check because I had some other issues attended to, uh, and it looked okay. My digestion numbers that was a little too low had been forced up, or what you call. I got the needed vitamins I was missing, and it looks better. So no alarm bells there. No alarm bells that it should be dangerous to take the vaccine. I even ask into is there's any risk of serious adverse events on my own language, of course. And I got no, not of what they know of. The majority didn't have adverse events. And of course, there could be some toxic allergic reactions, but it was in so rare cases that it was almost not something they considered would happen. I think it was around 7 in all that got that in my country out of 3.8 million vaccinated. So, well, so again, I got in the ambulance. I was rushed when they got the call-ins, and the doctor was putting various forms of medication in me, and even morphine at the end, or a Morpheus-like product when we arrived to the emergency. And I was direct from the emergency taken to where I should be, the room, and was up there. I was written in, and with it already 10 minutes in, I was driven down to surgery, or brought down to surgery room, where they found the blood clot fast. And yeah, removed it, and already within a few minutes after, I began to get better. The pains just went away, and I was more relaxed. I could breathe and so on. I was brought back to my room. I have a single room because I have some diagnosis that made me qualified to get a single room and not a four-bedroom. And I was brought back to that room. Couldn't sleep or anything because it's scary. Scary when something like that hits. Well, uh, after that hard night where I had to look inwards to myself, my lifestyles, uh, my uh, lack of getting out more, my lack of training other than gaming. Then I thought to myself, okay, now you have to begin serious, uh, get yourselves together and get into some more active outside the home activities and not just keep on the lifestyle playing the uh, 10 to 20 hours a day sometimes with one and another or another streamer and make them look good and so on. But again, it was a wake-up call for me, and I stopped smoking that day. Uh, and that day, the 12th of July 2021, and 2 days after, uh, I was I was brought to the emergency. I was fresh again. They could send me home and say you have a couple of controls afterwards, but you can do that at your own doctor, and I did, of course. And they gave me some brochures and some things I could read up on to avoid in the future, or try to avoid new clotting in the future. And I read them through. There was some groups I could join to get some little mental health uh, help. I guess it's named that. And well, I joined them, or I approximately joined them, but again, fast I found out it wasn't really for me. So, well, already when I went to the hospital, I said, well, this is a coincidence. Not even 15 days after I got the vaccine, I'm out here with a blood clot. Could it be the vaccine? Well, we come to that. They kept on pointing out, well, I should stop smoking. Smoking is not healthful, and I knew that it's written on every cigarette packs that I can buy in my country that cigarette kills, that cigarette cause vascular disorders and could cause cancer and so on. I knew that. It's a risk I took because I was too stupid not to say no and stop. It was hard to stop smoking. I had tried many times before. A Danish mentalist and hypnose dude. Uh, I followed a program of him that was he tried to make with 3 or 4 videos on YouTube. Uh, Stop smoking, Denmark. And well, I was on that, and it helped me. But the blood clot really made me stop, and I'm grateful for that. All that money I got released for not spending money on cigarettes really turned my economy and my way to get things I dreamed about easier, because we talked about $300 or around 280 euros a month. I suddenly had more to invest in my dreams. Like, for example, I use Rode systems. This is not commercial. I just tell it. I have bought a item from Black Magic. I have cameras also. I know I haven't shown my face, and I know I'm an introvert, so show myself in real person to a lot of people can be kind of hard. Like One Case also has said in his Rust videos that uh, it's hard to put yourself up in the screen. I'm working on getting there, but again, back to the story. Well, after I got home, I called my insurance because I know blood clot was mentioned in my insurance. So, and I got back from them. Well, we don't cover blood clots in the heart, only strokes or sinus thrombosis. And well, I also talked to the personnel at the emergency and hospital, and I asked for, should I consider contact the uh, patient? I don't know what it's named in Danish. It's a patienterstatning, the place where you seek for compensation for medical damages or wrong treatments, of course. Uh, for this, and they asked me, "Do you feel like you was treated wrong?" No, 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 not that. It's the time between I got the vaccine, my first jab, and I suddenly got a blood clot in my heart. I could do that, but to their knowledge, they couldn't say that the vaccine could cause blood clots. And well, I thought to myself, well, it's worth trying because I will be in medication the rest of my life due to this. And one of them for the first year, it was quite expensive. So I choose to send in 3 days after to see if I could get some compensation for vaccine damage. But 4 months later, it was denied. The director said that they felt that it was because I was a smoker, I got a blood clot, not focusing on that there was a time issue. And well, I was kind of disappointed. I know, I didn't get any research to back up their decisions. So I thought, oh well, let's challenge this. So I did. The only that they provided in the first denial of my request was that a PhD doctor had said that he couldn't find any evidence that Pfizer could cause blood clots. And I guess it was right at that time, because most research at that time was gain benefit, uh, comparing the vaccines for what they gained and the risk numbers forward the numbers of adverse events when it came to corona or COVID-19 virus or Sars CoV-2. Call it what you want. And well, most of the studies I could see, yeah, it said we don't find any increased risk forward the vaccines due to the risk of you could gain the same and the numbers was higher with COVID. They claimed at that time. There's new research out, but maybe I won't get to that in this video because I want my story out there first so people know when I comes out with any other things, studies and so on, I can be biased due to, or it can be said I'm biased due to you had a blood clot and now you're just trying to force it to fit with the vaccine batch you got. And I'm not doing that. I'm trying to find the truth. I'm trying to get them to do the right thing. Well, I got denied from that they could find that there was any thing that said that it was the vaccine that could have caused my blood clot. They couldn't say it wasn't, but it was more likely that it was that I had been a smoker that caused a blood clot, even through it was within a certain amount of time from the first jab till I got a blood clot. And I know it's within 15 days, and it was okay. 15 days is long time in my mind. Well, I tried again because in my country, if you don't ask them to review your case within a half a year, you have to take it to the justice system. And I didn't want to do that because it could easily cost me $20,000 to $30,000 that I don't have. And probably more because it's such a big case. And at that time, the research was most fact on gain benefit and risk of the vaccine compared to risk of the COVID-19 virus itself. Well, I got more stressed. I felt really like, okay, they won't acknowledge this, or there's no research yet that can say with 100% certainty the vaccine cannot cause thrombosis. Well, second time here I asked them, I want to review my case again. I want you to go deeper. They contacted a specialist. I won't mention his name because YouTube is known for name drop. If you name drop, they will remove your video due to the DP. I can't. DPDR rules of Europe. There it was. And I saw it. This is uncut. This is so. If I'm mumbling or can't pronounce a word, probably it's won't be taken out. So again, second time they contacted one that had got 46 studies published on various medias, like PubMeds and so on. And well, he reviewed my case and said, well, I have no knowledge about this vaccine can give those kind of adverse events, but more likely smoking. It's well known that it can give those events. So he put 9 published articles up where was from EMA, their guidelines and risk values of this vaccine, or experimental vaccine as it should have been called, because it's still an experimental vaccine. So, and the modem was just gain risk evaluations from various countries, England, USA, Denmark, Norway, and Finland study of, I can't say his name, but you can look it up. I think Dr. John Campbell mentioned his studies in one of his video reviews. And well, I read those studies, found that those studies wasn't about could you get thrombosis, sinus thrombosis, is Islam, I can't pronounce that word, but cardiovascular thrombosis, and so on. And well, it was more about is there a higher risk if you get the vaccine than if you doesn't get it. All those studies at that time wasn't really about the high risk of getting anything, getting a serious adverse event. The studies was more, okay, is it more safe to get the vaccine or get COVID? That was basically what all those studies was about. And I already found that there was in a couple of the studies, there was 1.9 a 19% increase of thrombosis of various kind. But again, I had to consider, okay, a 19% increase. We have to do with elderly people that have been stuck in their homes. I don't know if they had any other diseases or old, have had blood clots before, all that. I didn't know the data for that. So I just had to say, well, I can see there have been an increase of blood clot, but I can explain why there have been it. Okay, so now we got that right. The first 2 months of the vaccine outroll, there was an increase of in my country of 19%. Means that it's under what they calculate with now, that it have to be 1.5. Means that there have to be at least an increase of 50% before they consider if this can be an effect of the vaccine, or the vaccine caused damage. So, well, again, I got more frustrated. I read those articles. Again, for the third time, I think, or was it the fourth time? I asked them, now we long into 2022. I asked them again to review my case. I found newer studies. Sadly, even took a couple of his studies and pointed out there was an increase of blood clotting in the research. Even though they said in the conclusions that even through there is an increased number of events, we can't say at this time that it's vaccine-inflicted damage. We can only say it had to be researched further in the future. Well, I felt like running my head into the wall. I felt like this is the first time I found new studies where they pointed out that there was an increased number. I watched Dr. John Campbell. I will show who that is. I think he's a medical nurse that went on pension and started calling out the risk of vaccines and so on YouTube under the outrolling. I saw some of his videos and saw, well, here's something I don't understand. He says out of studies that it looked like this, but those that handle those in the states that have to use the study to evaluate the vaccines keep saying it's safe. Here, myocarditis, I can't explain, infection in the heart, and so on. Already was taken in. Pfizer was taken out of the vaccine program totally in my country. J&J from Janssen was on voluntarily base, and if you got it, you couldn't. If you got a serious adverse event, you just had to live with it. So again, luckily in my country, we have good healthcare system. You don't have to show insurance or anything to get treated. They will treat you because you pay for that over the tax. Just to get that unclear, I didn't have any expenses other than my medicine afterwards that I had to pay. So, first time sending new research and so on in that showed that there was an increased risk of thrombosis, and it got denied again. Fifth time was last fall or last autumn. Depends on if you live in the UK area or in the USA, what you call it. So I ask again, will you please treat me with some respect? Will you take my case serious? Because I didn't feel like I had been taken serious. I pointed out the person they used as an expert was an expert within the diabetic area and not within corona and vaccines. I pointed out that the first that had responded, the first doctor that had responded, and Dr. PhD Metz, said that of his knowledge, or directly, it had been toned down, but he directly said that Pfizer vaccine cannot cause a clotting in your heart, at your heart. That was what he directly said. I saw the paper. I think I have it somewhere, sadly on a computer that malfunctions now. And now it's toned down to that he in his knowledge cannot say that the corona vaccine from Pfizer could give any form of clotting. Well, I of course asked for all the paperwork, reviewed and showed the biases in the papers of what was said by the two doctors. I talked with one of the person working there for quite some time, trying to describe the research and the studies I have went through, even though I don't have a doctor degree. I gonna say that now. I don't have a doctor degree. I don't have a university degree in medicine. Only thing that qualifies me to read and uh, uh, talk about what stands in all those research is I have a minor degree in social science or science, political science. So I also had to learn to how to read those published research within this area. I found that I asked some people for help that I know have more knowledge than me within this area, also to translate some of the terms and so on, so I could understand it better. I got from Dr. Campbell a lot of knowledge within areas, within terms, within what things that was written actually meant. So I begin because I'm best at math, not myth, but math. I began calculating, uh, seek out numbers. I already did that at the fourth, seek out numbers and found there was a variation from what they said and the true numbers because I didn't hold to uh, the whole population. I went for my age group between 40 and 50 and the outroll within that area. And people under 50, just to get a more precise. And in that, I found a year there is around 1,000 cases of blood clotting, uh, various blood clotting. That means could be heart, head, lungs, liver, legs, or other vital organs. So again, I began the research. I began calculate the numbers. I found, well, this is significant. There should be 1,000 a year, but it seems to be a lot more cases within 28 days that there should have been for people under 50. I pointed that out. I said you can't evaluate the risk out of the whole population. You have to evaluate it in areas of group and 10-year demographic would be relevant had there been more cases for people from 16 to 29, just to make the youngest group within one, and then from 30 to 39 and 40 to 49 and so on. And I found that in my calculation there had been as significant more cases than there should have been, or what you could assume that should have been in a period of 21 to 28 days after the first and second jab. And that made me think, okay, I got them to say yes to that it was significant, that it was within the 28 days, that all researchers at that time mostly was focusing on. But again, they said, well, you don't prove, even with calculation, that there is a higher risk, that it's actually the vaccine that is causing this. There's many other things. We have had lockdowns. There's a high stress level within the population, and so on, so on, so on. So they could put many bias on why. At that moment, I got my blood clot. My country had been locked down for over half a year, and our prime minister had 2 weeks after, or around a month after, had been on open television saying the vaccine outroll was going great, but she want to catch the last that haven't got the vaccines against COVID. And she kept awake every day and night thinking about how could she use her toolbox to get the last people vaccinated. She really said that on live TV. And you could probably find the video clip from August 2021 on YouTube if they haven't taken it down. Now, more controversial to what they thought in 2021 is coming up now. Well, again, the fifth time I sent in and again asked to be taken serious, to be treated right. That they did the right thing, added new research to it that also showed the spike protein of Moderna and Pfizer was out in the veins in your bloodstream. That there was found DNA in the messenger RNA vaccines that shouldn't have been found. I know Dr. Campbell have been pointing at this problem. I know Dr. Bean, medical lecturer. I also have followed him here for the last half year and watched his video, and he trying not to be biased, even though he is a little biased. I think he had a family member also got an unproven vaccine endured damage. So again, watching, learning more and more from these medias, from research I could dig up myself, from research others told me about, and another big Danish research on Danish ground that Dr. Campbell also went through, and he had one of the persons that was within in that research group interviewing her and talking with her about the findings of extent death, I think that it's called, or a higher rate of death within the vaccines group of people than should have been. Well, I shake my head and said, because not even 14 days later, I got a very negative letter or mail back from them saying If you can't come with any concrete evidence, don't contact us. Any further, we hold to you can't sue us, you can't do anything. That's illegal. And I pointed that out for them. I have the right to sue the state, but I haven't done that. And if I shouldn't expect that they will answer any more letters from me on taking the case up again. Well, today I filed my case again to be reviewed out of the newest research. There's a couple of major researchers that have came out within the last few days or last weeks. I better say it like that. The biggest research from CDC, where my country also is one of is 10 countries, I think that 10 or 12 countries within that research. Dr. Campbell talk about this research. I think Mr. Bean have gone through this research. I'm sure he have. I think it was his page I found it on in one of his latest videos. So he have a video I have to watch. Oh, it's 7 months old. I don't watch that. Too old. But again, the new studies shows that there was increased risk of getting sinus thrombosis from Pfizer COVID vaccine in 2021. Can't deny it. It was over 1.5, both for first and second and third jab. Moderna, even higher increased risk. Moderna wasn't used much in my country. So, kind of okay. I can't really talk about Moderna because I think there was one few cases of blood clotting in Moderna. I never got it. And as the AstraZeneca, well, it was taken off so fast that only a few people, I think a couple of 100,000, got that vaccine, and only one reported blood clotting after the vaccine in my country of AstraZeneca. So again, I was kind of shaking my head, seeing and in disbelief. Okay, 2.5 years fighting just to get recognized that blood clot could happen, even though it's only sinus thrombosis or strokes, it's called in English language, or blood clots in the brain or of the veins that give blood to the veins, give blood to the brain. I mean, that was taken in this research. I went back because I had to see, okay, what does the two major things within Denmark, SSE, and the medical, the FDA in Denmark. I don't know what it's called translated, but say about this, and they changed. Both have changed their pages really, really much. Now they don't say 100 say that you can't get blood clots. They actually more or less removed blood clot related things, other than in one text that is 2 years old, that of course they get in that events like that have happened, and they noted it for further research in the future, and saved those data for that. But at this time, they couldn't say that it was vaccine-inflicted damage. So again, okay, I have to respect that, because yes, They can't. There is no study that directly says, like with AstraZeneca, it's the donor string they use, or a donor. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's the string that used in the spike protein that actually known can give blood clots. And also, when you looked up the risk of the vaccines, uh, Pfizer never had that this vaccine could give blood clotting. Moderna had, AstraZeneca had, Johnson & Johnson from Janssen had, the only 4 vaccines that used in my country at that time. And one of them was taken down immediately after the blood clot risk was confirmed, and the other was on that had the same Adora string, uh, was also uh, used as voluntarily. Well, at that point, I have so much knowledge. I learned so much biology. I know the body more. I know so many terms they use now that I didn't use 2.5 years ago. That it's insane. So what I got out of that till now, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of reading of published research at PubMed and other places, and I read through it all. Well, even I forgot something. I think it was in November 2020, no 2021. I wrote Pfizer Denmark, and asked, "Do you know, or can you say anything about the risk of blood clot and Pfizer vaccine?" A woman from them was so nice calling me. I had a finger talk with her for 40 minutes. We went over a lot of things. She was saying, well, we of course have our eyes on that problem, but our stand at this point is that Pfizer don't cause blood clotting. And well, understandably, because no smoking gun had been found at that time. And well, we don't know what we know now after the Texas judgment of Pfizer that had to provide, and the FDA that tried to hinder that they could publicize 130,000 documents within so short time limits. Well, we know now that already in the test base there is some things that you could question mark, that 4 out of 25,000 people actually had a blood clot within a time limit period. And they tried to cover that up with, or not cover it up, because they actually wrote it down, but they meant due to that 2 and the test group that didn't got the vaccine, but something else, I guess saltwater, also had blood clot within that time period. And it's significant because if you take that, it's 4 divided with 2, it's 100% increased. Shows already in the test data, even through the test data was so little that they couldn't conclude out of 4 persons out of compared to 2 persons on the other side. Well, explainable, and they put it in the list of the things that they should keep an eye on further future to get it stamped so they could get it sent out from I can remember EATA or something like that. Those that product test and with the results that they get provided have to evaluate, is this safe or is this not safe, and can the data show this is safe or this is not safe. I also read the second they sent in. I got my hands on that, read it through, and there was 81 blood clots within 1.8 million vaccinated persons. I think it was 1.2? It was between those numbers. And then I began to think, we have a number that is under 1 to 20,000 risk of blood clot. Pfizer was taken down from our market and to be used because there was one in 7,000 cases of blood clots. There's something rotten in the state of Denmark, as Shakespeare said. And again, this is something I used also in the fifth when I tried to get my case reviewed as a proof of I might be right that there's overwhelming indication that it's actually the vaccine and not that I was smoking, because now we both have it's within the time period that they calculated with. Most of the research 28 days, and those that they made a research of 22 days and 28 days, it even higher the number that was significant point of that there was a risk. I know I haven't shown any proof of all I'm saying, so it's my claims. Remember that it's my claims. But I will show proof in the future. I will take some studies out in the future. Will not be in this video. Because I feel now I need to speak up, need to tell you my story, need to show you what happened, need to show you evidence within the line of confidentiality and what I'm allowed to show to the outside people. I don't really know what I'm allowed and not allowed to show, because in my country we have some rules of transparency. So, but I also have to tell what it really says and keep to the truth. I'm not want to have hundreds of thousands of people say you are a silver paper hat, you're just lying, you just want attention. No, I don't. I want my story out there. I want my story told. And I know I have a mild case of an serious upward event due to I reacted in a good time and got the clot removed fast after it really had said so. It was life-threatening. Again, I got those papers added to my asking for getting taken up the fifth time. This was last fall. I think it was October 2023 I sent it in, and November 2023 I got that stop spamming us with this. We won't review your case at the time you don't come with any new evidence. And I added new evidence every time and pointed out where they could and showed where they could find the evidence and so on. Like when you write an report for the school or for high school or universities and so on, you had to show where did you find this? Is it accepted? What is the bias of those published scientific reports you are adding to us to try to prove that you have a right, or there's a more than a 50% chance it's vaccine inflicted damage you got. And well, it got denied. I actually was at the point, okay, till somebody sue a state and win because of blood clot in the heart, or various blood clots, or whatever that have with blood clot to do, and when. Because I don't have the funds to take the state to a courtroom for and make a civil case for them and sue them, because it's so expensive. Even if I win, okay, it wouldn't be expensive, but the money it would cost, I would have to put up forward just to get the case through. I I don't have that kind of money. I have enough so I can live. I don't go hungry to bed every night. So I'm happy at that point. But on the other side, I also have been living for 2.5 years with fears, with having to take medication every single morning for my heart, for my cholesterol, and of course my vitamin pills. And that's a good thing. Always take your medicines. No, not medicine, your vitamins, because the elderly you get, the more your body needs that. So yes, I'm 47 now, and I got my blood clot as a 44 years old person. So again, with the last big studies, there have been a couple. I could go to my front page. Here's one of them. No, it's not that. That's from the police. This one is one of the bigger issues that have been pointed out. Uh, Bad batches versus good batches. I don't know why they call it that. Uh, but it's written by Dr. Anders Hvid and his associates, as you can see here, Anders Hvid, 1, 2, Dr. Mid Science and Ingrid Beck. Those Dr. Hvid, there's a bias on this because he's actually working for the state. I think it's a chief researcher for SSE, so there's some kind of bias there. And also was on the first published from his sides in PubMed, where he was making a gain risk comparings of the vaccines for what COVID-19 and the risk of obtaining abundance from them. But I won't. I think he probably is a very intelligent dude, since he can have a so high position, and I don't have the degrees to say anything bad or anything negative. So again, we can see correspondent author Anders Hvid, Department of Epidemiology Research, SSI, and So we know he works from the state for the States, and we know that it's made for SSE. It's a Department of Epidemiologic Research, State Serum Institute, Copenhagen, Denmark. That will say it's the state that made their own research out of and found their own conclusions. It's pretty new. Let's see, when was it published? It's from January 24th, so it's a little over one month old. I've read it through. I will link it, or I can tell you where to find it afterward if you want to read this study. It's a study because some people raised the question uh, of the difference of the batches, and here they tried to prove that there was not any significant difference through the batches. The only thing they could point out that there was a slightly increased, and this is a research of the batches rolled out in the start. I guess so. They're not so transparent, because I don't know if I'm myself in this research. If I'm group 2, and in group 2 they found that there was a slight increase. Let me see if I can find it. I should have pointed it out. It's the first time I'm making a video like this. So you can see the matched pairs for 28 days, and of each 30 outcome studies separately, so on, so on, so on, to try to explain how they got to this. And let's see, I think group 3 versus 2 rate of cerebrovascular and Islamic. This is what I had. Uh, uh, I think it means a blood clot at artery that. Oh, no, I don't think it means it. It direct means this is a blood clot in artery that feeds the heart blood, and that was what I had. So it's increased in group 3 compared to group 2. As you can see, the numbers. Group HR 1, and here we have the other one. So again, it says it's 1.01, and it increased 1.07. But funny, if you go deeper down, deep went from doses, and all causes of mortality were observed, and a significantly higher rate in group 3 compared to group 2. So again, here it said it was not increased in 3 compared to group 2, and that was what I had, and I would be in group 2. So this is group 3, 1.01, and group 2 is 1.07. That would say 7 people, more out of 100 people, could have got a blood clot. And I find that significant because their way of calculating, I have to put that in here. And the way they used to calculating here is that the risk factor, it have to be more than 1.5 before it's significant to call out. As they also point out in the newest research with almost 100 million doses of corona vaccines, how they calculated it. So again, it's 7 people more out of 100. Or how many more would it be when you take the number of the people and the number of cases. I know in my batch, first batch I got, it was actually 35 people recorded. Remember, this is an issue. If I haven't sent in trying to see if I could get some compensation, it would have never been recorded that it might be a vaccine-inflicted damage I got. That's very, very, very important to say, because if I haven't tried to get compensation, it was just a slide under with the normal numbers. So keep to that. And we have even more further here, 1.36. We are up in the yellow area here. But all causes of mortality were observed significant higher rates in group 3 than group 2. So you can see here is the number 1.15 and group 3 1.36. Again, it's still under that 1.5 we are looking for. So again, they don't say it there is a higher risk. So we have some numbers. It's hard to read. Then I went down to, okay, how did they found it? Group 1, 2, 3. You can see this here of the batches. You can see how they've compare the number of events group 1 to 3. They took out the reported number of events, cleaned it up as said, to show the less biased results. Again, it's interesting because down here they claimed that there was a higher event rate here, and well, I can see, yeah, it's 10%, but what they should focus on is there's 292. Ischemic cardio events, and this just blood clots at the heart, the veins that feed the heart blood. We're talking about 500 events, or not 500, about almost 300 events within a little time area. But the problem again is when you go down and if you look at how to build it up and the age difference, how to use that, it was kind. You can see here's the group, here's the age in 1, 2, and 3. So the demography for, okay, we have to take mine age group at that was 15.2% of all of them. Okay, what can I use that number for? Nothing at all. Because if there is a majority of elderly people, the elderly, of course, showed that there was a higher risk of blood clotting. I know in my batch, for example, it was people under 49 that got my batch number. So, and there was 35 out of 388,000 doses. And if you make the calculation, it fits within also what I calculated myself, that 1 out of 13,500 experienced a blood clot after the first jab of corona vaccine, first and second. And even though I calculated it over the whole population, it showed the same number. But I can't prove it because they won't recognize the way I calculated it. So again, it's fair enough, but the numbers don't lie. So again, we can see they do the calculation over the whole demography and not, as I tried to ask them, we need research where you take out the demographic, like here, and do have there been a significant increase of, for example, blood clotting between 40 to 49 year old people? If they have, well, there's a problem. It would be significant to find that out. Is it higher event of blood clotting for people under 50? I know in my country it's around 1,000 people a year that get that. If there have been 1,500 within 28 days after the vaccines in all got blood clotting, had there been a raise if blood clotting within in vaccines? Is it the corona? Is it something else that caused it? We don't know. Of course, I think this is a wrong way to do it. You have to do it the demographic. You have to take and do a research on in individual age groups, like with a 10-year marking, like here. So you can go in and say, okay, there have been more blood clots within this group of people than expected. So there is some alarm bells, and it wasn't done here. This is just to prove that they don't find that there's any different of small batches from the start of the started vaccine with Pfizer till they made the larger batches that have been claimed to be unclean, higher risk. Actually, they turned this around and said that the small batches was the higher risk, not the large one. Even through they changed the method how they made the larger batches. Something I will get into in later videos also. And some of what I will tell you about is something you already heard either from, but I take my view and put it into my case and put my views on it, because I won't focus like Dr. John Campbell on higher death rate. I will go more like Dr. Bean, medical lecturer. Go focus on the numbers, focus on the significant for me in this research, and how I feel with what I heard about spike 1 protein from Pfizer and Moderna, how this spike protein was found in the bloodstream, how it was found in the livers, and so on. I will focus more on that part. And Dr. Bose and Edward Bosworth, I watched 3 videos of her where she actually pointed out some significant things also. Also about the newer research. There was a research dropped also a few weeks ago that was significant due to the safety of the vaccine, that actually say the opposite of what states and CDC, WHO, EMA claimed, that the vaccine was safe. They gained benefits. Research that was made in early 2021 and during 2021 actually was wrong. And new research shows that that there was a larger risk to get to die actually getting vaccine than calculated if you what wasn't just lived on. That it was 2 out of 100,000 that died of coronavirus. I don't know I only read it is published on PubMed, and compared to that, there was 27 out of 100,000 in that study that died of the vaccine. So again, you saved 2, but costed life of 27. Also focus on other aspect of increased number of thrombosis and so on, compared to what was shown for people that wasn't vaccinated at that time. And there was the large first study that actually had proven that there was significant increased sinus thrombosis with Pfizer and Moderna in 2021. It's focused on the first year of vaccination, not after 2021, but the first year of outrolling of the vaccinations, and have over 100 millions or around 100 millions where they reviewed it. And as I say, that research also have a bias because, for example, as I mentioned earlier, mine would never have been reported in if I haven't tried to get compensation from the state. It would just have been a number of normal event of thrombosis. And yeah, so luckily I went away. Also, but I know there's a person that was mentioned. I don't know if it was taken down. I know actually I didn't. I have to tell you this because in 2022 research, I found that they used my case to tell why you are not in a group that could get compensation for vaccine damage. Actually, I found it was my case. It fitted totally on me. Age and not age, but age group. A 44-year-old man was rushed to the hospital, had an arterial clot thrombosis at the vascular, and so on, so on, in their language that is made for normal people not to understand what they are talking about. And the judgment on ruling on that was that it was because I have been smoking for, I think they mentioned 20 years or something like that. At that time, I had been a smoker. So out of that, they meant that it was self-inflicted damage because of smoking, and could and not due to the injection of. And they used that. And another case, a 49-year-old man. 3 days after he got the first jab, he was rushed to the hospital with a stroke or sinus thrombosis, as it is called also. And due to he had overweight, as the second well-known that can cause blood clotting of lifestyle diseases, they pointed to, well, I hope he's up in the face now and asking the state for compensation, because in his case they can't get around it. They can't say, oh, it's because you was overweight and not a vaccine inflicted damage. There's so much that point that it was vaccine damage. And the new study from CDC published really also showed that was an significant increased risk from first and second jab of a Pfizer corona vaccine. So again, even though they can't say it's the spike protein that causes it, due to between the lines in more research, it said, well, when the spike protein get out in the blood, it can destroy your membrane. It can hook up to your D cells and T cells. I don't know. I can't explain. I'm not a professional doctor, so at least it could cause vascular disease. and that means vascular disease is also blood clotting. So again, they point out that if even though there's a slight difference, they try to make the Pfizer spike protein more safe. They found in studies that if it's not handled right, it will just behave like, for example, a normal coronal spike protein. So again, I'm not a scientist within this area, so even though I have read so much that I qualify as an expert without an education to back it up. But again, I would point out it's biased from my side. I know that because I'm one of the victims, but Dr. Bose also is a victim of a vaccine-inflicted damage. I know that Dr. Bean uh, said in one of his videos that he have a family member that could have been inflicted with vaccine uh, 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 injured damage, or what, I forgot the word, damage from the vaccine. I haven't really followed up on that, but I heard he mentioned that in one of his explanations. So again, I'm just pointing three out, where two is a medical doctors and the third is a former nurse with a medical degree, I think. So that's just three opinions that actually take new research and dig through it and try to explain what really is happening within the area of research, and point out factors that there is some significant things we have to keep an eye on here. And probably not what I'm not the way I'm gonna go on. I mentioned things that is significant compared to myself, and the blood clot I got. I can't say that it's the Pfizer vaccine because I have no legal ground to say it's the Pfizer vaccine that caused the damage or caused my blood clot, because I don't have hard proof evidence of that. But I can say that it's significant that within 15 days from getting the vaccine, I got a blood clot. And newer studies shows that, and also older studies keep on focusing on that blood clot have happened, but they removed the focus with saying, well, there's no proof that the clotting is related to the vaccine, only that we have to research the further in time and to prove or disprove. So that's a fun thing. They try to disprove things. They really don't try to prove things in research. When they kind of prove things, they say uh, it can be that it is like it shows, but it can also be it's not. At least that's how I learned to evaluate a report or how to write it. Never say it's so. Say it can't be so, but if you can't disprove it, and again, as I say, I can't say it's Pfizer that caused I got a blood clot, and I never said it was Pfizer that. I said I tried to prove it to the Danish state that it was a vaccine injury I got, but I haven't proved it. It have been recognized that Pfizer could give blood clots in the heart, even though it's mentioned in most of the reports and scientific reports and so on, where they take the number of blood clotting that usually is more than expected, but is not significant, means over 1.5 compared to expected cases. That means that if it's 17 people out of 100, it's not significant enough to say that it's a vaccine inflicted damage or disease. They can only say they have to keep an eye on it and research it further. On the way they calculate, on the way I learned to calculate, if you have 1.00, it's with a margin of 95% of that in a normal statistic calculation, and that will say if it's over 1.05, then it's beginning to be significant because it's over the normal, what could have been expected. But they don't calculate like that, and of course they have to be sure. It could also be because other things that could have inflicted it, that weather, the nature, more pollution, whatever. That it's a certain groups that have a higher due to they have been going home, probably been smoking more, drinking more, gained more weight, didn't get out so much, got cortisol in their body, and we also know stress release cortisol into your body, and that's not healthy for you. So again, there's many factors, many bias they can put up against. Okay, there's many other things that would have triggered it even though they didn't get the vaccine. So again, it had to be significant, and I understand, but that they have to have a high margin of 50 people more than expected out of if it's 1,000 research, there have to be 150 or 1,000 cases, 150 of them, and not just 110 before they take it as a significant and have to again evaluate if it's because of a rare effect of the drug. So again, they have to weigh and balance it. So because the state don't really want to pay out if it shows that, oh well, we paid this dude $1 million in thought of it was a vaccine inflicted damage he got, but now the science says it probably was not. But how can we get $1 million back from that person? It's almost impossible, because when he got that money, he probably got heavy and took his friends on a dream vacation, probably paid some mortgage out on the house, and so on, so on, so on. So they could have a less stressful life. And so again, what can I say? I'm gonna end this video here and say, go watch these three. You can learn so much from them, and how to go through reports. Probably have to stick a little older John Campbell, because after the Danish study of that more deaths had occurred after vaccines. He usually kept to that subject, and not talking of much other than exits death. I think it's pronounced right. Exits death, sadly, because uh, I've learned a lot from him, and also in his exits death and what he uh, uh, bring forward, the inflammation and causes of cancer, for example, and signs of death and again death. He have myocarditis and pericarditis as some of the focus point earlier in his documentation of a scientific report published. So, and this person, he's really, really good. He's really skilled and really skilled to tell you about the reports, go deeper, really explain with drawings what it means. And I love that. As you can see, he has a lot of drawings. The new drugs works on all Sars CoV variants. Like he's digging deep, and if you find that nothing is controversial, he also says it. So again, I found him very good. And the last person, Dr. Boss, I only watched 3 of her videos that is about corona vaccines, and I don't think she made much more within this area because she wasn't a skeptic before a few months ago, even though she had maybe had a COVID vaccine inflicted damage again. So thank you if you watched. As I say, this is my story. I shared one documentation of one of the newest Danish studies within the batches that have been questioned, and I know other scientists that have made other studies and tried to find answers. They question mark this study and really don't find it as credible study, but more like one that is trying. This is my opinion. One that is trying to cover up his first study on the corona vaccines from 2021, and his finding. The problem is the new study actually tells another story, because I won't. I'm not calling his name. I will say this person was out in late 2022 and say after CDC had said there's a slightly higher risk for sinus thrombosis coming to the new batch of Pfizer vaccine. He was out saying to the Danish state, well, I don't find that. I don't find an increased risk, so it's safe. I didn't mention his name, so you can research it yourself, and you can find the CDC actually contacted the states in Europe and the EMA that there is a slight higher risk of sinus thrombosis with the Pfizer new batch, and you can go find himself. That person disclaimed that there actually was, and now new research shows there was already in 2021. Even his own research said, "Oh well, I can see there's a slight higher risk of sinus thrombosis, or a slight higher number of sinus thrombosis, but I don't find that significant." But of course, something we have to research further in the future, because of course, at that time, the main opinion was Pfizer vaccine couldn't give any form of thrombosis because it wasn't proven. So I said thank you for watching. Next week or within the next 7 days, there will come another video where I will go focus on some of the newest research out of the explanation I've gotten out of what I've got out of them myself. I will focus on thrombosis uh, within those research and how they call them out. And I will also go to old research from what I was shared. I will even I think in my next video, I will take some of the paperworks. I will analyze who the persons have been behind uh, uh, and said, okay, I found this, this, and this, and this, and this. Explain why I don't find that there's no a concern for Pfizer can give blood clots, but this is uh, serious research that direct shows that smoking could cause blood clotting, strokes, and so on. And we all really knew that. It's easier to point out that the three most well-known ways to get a blood clot is, of course, smoking. Second, lifestyle, overweight, and too much alcohol use. And point three, genetic. That it's in your genes that you have a higher risk of getting blood clots if near family members have had it, your parents, for example, and so on. And they can actually find that research in your gene strings and so on, your DNA. So I think next time, if people watch and want to hear more about my story, about my fight, I will go take that show what they used as evidence for why blood clotting couldn't be said could cause it, and I will point out what I focused on in those research and what they should have focused on in this research compared to they just focused on the conclusion. We don't find that that it's significant due to Pfizer don't give blood clots, or say we can say it's Pfizer due to there's no smoking gun, but something we have to research in the future. So I think I've been talking for a little over 1 hour and 20 minutes now. So this is my story. This is what happened the 12th of July 2021 until now. And yes, I will go through my case. I won't take all the 700 documentation. I will just go out and take what they used as evidence for the third and the fourth denial of my uh, 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 trying to get compensation. So thank you for watching. Hope you like and subscribe. I only have 49 subscribers. I need 504,000 hours watching before they want to pay me. I don't do this for payment. I have to point that out. I do this to get my story out there. I'm telling my story. I'm showing what I've been through fighting the state the last 2 years plus, just to get recognized. And yeah, also the compensation would be nice, but get the recognition that we are sorry that we gave you an unsafe vaccination. That's my goal, but I can't prove they do yet. But it's getting closer. And, research come out all the time, and it's significant because more and more research show that what the state denied earlier could be an vaccine-inflicted damage. For example, the sinus thrombosis. Just a year ago, they denied that you could get any form of thrombosis, or not denied, but they say that there's not enough evidence to say that it's the vaccine. But we can point out other factors that is more significant to and give that. So thank you for watching again. Hope you like and subscribe. It would be like to my channel begin to grow because it hasn't been for long, and I know it's my fault. Usually I play games and upload Rust videos at the time, but I have a frozen shoulder, so playing games for me at the moment is an issue. It hurts like hell's. Not what the hell's, but hell. Sorry, I used that word. But if I use my left arm too much, I have to take painkillers, and I don't like to take painkillers. So please click that subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. I'm not asking any money of anybody. Just asking, please click that subscribe button. And while you're doing it, you can give me a thumbs up and thumbs down. Up to you. I know I'm not the most showman. I'm a little more dry in the way I speak. I'm mumbling sometimes. I'm falling over the words because I also have ADHD, and sometimes I can't go straight. I have to go out side roads before I get into the main line again, and sometimes I have a tendency to mix some things up. But again, that was my story, and hope you like and subscribe, and hope in the future you will watch when I reveal more of my case studies and so on. Uh, that I will reveal the documentation from the states, what they focused on to deny me to get a compensation, or what I just asked for. We are sorry. And I also said that to Pfizer. I'm not here for money. I'm not here to find a way to sue the state of Pfizer. I just want somebody to say, we are sorry. It was an experimental vaccine. It still is. And there was some we couldn't calculate for. So yes, it was the vaccine that damaged you. And for that, we couldn't have foreseen that would happen to you. Actually, what our calculations said, and uh, he, and all studies said at that time it was safe. So for that we are sorry, and I would be happy for that because then I got an explanation. I don't have to live in fear. I don't. Again, of course, I have to live a healthy life and think about what I eat and so on. But I know the risk of I get a new clot within 5 years is minimized to. I don't have to fear that it comes back because three times within the last 2 years I had similar symptoms and were called to go to emergency to get checked out, and it was luckily false positive. It was my body under stress reacting on the stress and give some symptoms that look like it. And I will last and at least I will focus on something that started happening in 2022 from the state. I will call out, but it will be when we go through some research further into the future, because something started happening that was significant from the state side that give meaning in the sense of the new study now. But thank you for watching again, and hope you all will have a nice day, nice evening, nice night, and remember, spread the love.